Hello, you're listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized. I am your host, Janet M. Taylor, and I want to say hello if you're a regular listener, and welcome if you're listening for the very first time. I hope you're having a great start to your week. In this episode, my guest is Iesha Williams, who is a fellow professional organizer, and she's going to be sharing how we can conquer those paper piles in our homes and our lives. Also, I'll be sharing my product suggestion, app suggestion, repurpose suggestion, and book suggestion for this week. And my question for you this week is, where do your paper piles seem to accumulate? Is it by the front door? Maybe by the entrance in the garage? By the bedside? The dining room table? The living room? I would love to know. Did you know that 80%, and you may have heard me say it before, 80% of the stuff we keep we never reference again? That includes our paperwork, which is why I wanted Iesha Williams, is a professional organizer, virtual assistant, and founder of the Uncluttered Lifestyle, a professional organizing company based in Sacramento, California. The Uncluttered Lifestyle specializes in reducing paper clutter and creating home management systems for busy families. Iesha truly believes that organizing is a way of life and not a one-stop destination to a picture-perfect home or office. Prior to organizing, Iesha spent most of her career supporting C-level executives both within government agencies and the private sector. During her time in the administrative role, she discovered her niche within the organizing world, paper management. While she was in the support role, she had the opportunity to fine-tune her passion by creating and implementing a paper management system for executives and teams alike. After 20 plus years working as an administrator, Iesha decided to bring her services to each of the entrepreneurs and families she has the pleasure to work with. Originally from Bronx, New York, Iesha now resides in Sacramento, California with her husband and their young daughter. During her downtime, she can be found either hanging out with her family or hitting the weights in the gym. So sit back, take notes, and listen to my conversation with Iesha Williams. Well, listeners, I am excited because I have Iesha Williams, a fellow organizer, on with me, and we're going to talk about paper because even though we are in a paperless society or moving towards it, we still have piles in our homes and our lives. So, Iesha, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Janet. I'm excited. You know, paper is my thing. That's what I do.
So, before we get started in strategies, what made you decide you wanted to be a professional organizer?
You know, I wish I could say that I was just always organized. I wasn't. I can't even lie and claim that. I was a messy teenager. And it wasn't until I had my own home and I organized my own home that I actually fell in love with organizing. I can remember buying my first product and putting it in the kitchen drawer and thinking, oh, yeah, this is it. This is what it's about. And, you know, I had a career as a assistant in an administrative role. And it was there that I actually fell in love with the paper management side of it. I remember walking into one of my early positions. I walked into my boss's office and it was full of paper, desk, conference table, floor, full of paper. And it was there that the spark was lit.
So even though we're have the electronic bill pay, electronic statements, why do you think people still have the piles in their homes and their lives? What are some of the reasons you think?
Typically, when I walk into a home or an office and there are piles of paper, it's normally because when we're dealing with paper, there is the mental aspect that really weighs a person down. when we're getting mail, typically it needs action or it needs a decision to be made whether or not we need to keep it. And if we don't have proper systems in place to handle the processing of it, we're just going to set it to the side and it's going to pile up. So I think it's really the combination of the two, the mental drag of it, not wanting to make a decision, and not having the proper systems already set up to process.
And I agree, because when I go into people's homes, a lot of times I can tell there may have been something that happened in their life as to why the piles are there. So you are right. It's like, okay, right now I can't really deal with it. So, in your opinion, what are some things and strategies that we can do to really better manage it, even though, they keep telling us, oh, you need to scan it, you need to shred it. But for people who still need to have that piece of paper, I mean, and I tell everybody, I paid my student loan off in the 90s. I still have that piece of paper. Granted, to scan it, but I still have it because it's like, this is something I achieved, but also it's like, look, if anybody ever comes after me, it's like, look, I did it.
I try to have a balanced view of it, for realizing that not every person is going to be like me. Not every person wants to be digital. So I give a few tips right off the bat. When you're getting your mail, throw away the junk, throw away the flyers, get rid of it. Don't even bring it into the house. Open up your mail the same day you get it. And once you open it, make a point to take action on it. Decide right then and there, do I need it? Is it a bill that is already on automatic pay? Because if that's the case, you really don't need the paper. You can always go back to the company's website and download a copy of it if you need it. And then take action the first time. Try to only handle that paper one time. Don't return to it. Just handle it and move on. And those really make a difference. When the person applies them, you will not add to your current paper piles, but you will also get rid of the ones that you have already accumulated. It really makes a difference.
And it really does. I mean, like, yesterday I got a credit card application. I'm not applying for the credit. I just put it right in the shredder. There were other things. It's like, I don't need it. I don't need that. Okay, I got to file this. But you're right. When you get it and it comes in and then you like deal with it, then the pile is gone. It's like disappear. It disappears.
That, and I get it when I tell people that, but I'm busy. I come in from work, if we're in the office, I come in, I have the kids, I have groceries, dinner needs to be made. I just set the pile down and I move on with my day or my evening. And then the next day I do the same thing. Have a trash can right where you are. Just go through it, open it up, set it there, and throw it away. And then you move on. Literally less than 5 minutes. Promise you.
And you're right, it does. It takes less than, sometimes it takes seconds, because you're like, oh, no, especially with the circulars and stuff like that. That's like, no. Yeah. So, Aisha, with all that you do with your clients, but also, you have a family, and of course, now we're beginning to get outside doors and meet with people outside of our homes. How do you stay organized?
If you follow me on Instagram, I'm all about the systems, routines and systems. And it's not like I don't live in my house. I have a 3-year-old. She really lives in this house. She makes it quite obvious that she's here. So it's not that my house is completely picked up, model home status. It's having systems in place to where when I tidy up, things are returned to baseline. And that's extremely important. I have a way to process the paper that comes into my home. Everything in my home has a place. It has a home within my home. And I live by the rule, if I don't have a place to put it, it's not coming in my home. Like I would love, 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 love to have a stand mixer. You know, the big KitchenAid things. I have no place to put that. So guess what? It's not in my home. And that has helped immensely keeping my home organized because things are not just out on the counter with no place to put it. And I'm not trying to shove it in a place where it just doesn't fit or doesn't belong.
I think that is one of the best tips and nuggets of the day if you don't have a place for it. And that is so true. I mean, and I think that's with everything. I think even when it gets into other things like clothes and shoes and pocketbooks. I mean, yes, we all like all those beautiful things, but then if you're bringing it in the house and you don't really have any place for it, get rid of some of the things you're not using so you can have place. I love that. If you have, because the simple thing is a place for everything and everything in its place. So Aisha's telling you, if you don't have a place for something, then that's what you need, and that's including the paperwork, people. So when you bring all those, you go shopping and you see all those magazines, and you just bring them all home and pile them down, and then the next thing you know, a month is gone by because you may have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and of course the husband too. So. I'm getting off topic here, but it just triggered a thought. So, Aisha, thank you so much. So, how can listeners connect with you?
Well, I am always on Instagram at the Uncluttered Lifestyle. And also I do have a website, unclutteredlifestyle.net, not .com, unclutteredlifestyle.net. And you can always send me an email at Iesha@theunclutteredlifestyle.net.
And of course, listeners, I will have a direct link to Aisha's website on the show page so you can connect with her directly, follow her on Instagram. And of course, if you want to send her an email and connect with her so you can conquer your paper piles, you'll be able to do so. So, Aisha, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Janet.
Like this show and want to make your own? Let me tell you about Anchor. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Now you can even add any song from Spotify directly to your episode. The possibilities are endless for what you can create, whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, or something the world's never heard before. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So did you walk away with any nuggets from my conversation with Iesha? If you did, drop me a line. Let me know. So now we're transitioning to Taylor's tip time, and I'm just going to kind of piggyback with some paper piling tips. Number 1, set a goal. If you want to move towards paperless, reduce the number of filing cabinets in your home and your life, that's number 1. Number 2, plan your system. Digital, physical. That's first. Are you going to scan documents, or are you still going to have some physical documents? And also an A to Z, and also your supplies, file folders, hanging file folders. And then you create your system. And you may have 2 different systems. I know for those of you who are small business owners or business owners, you have a system for your business, and then you also have a system for your home. And then, of course, within those home systems, you have a system for all the things that you are responsible for financially. It could be all of the utility bills, but then also you have all of your financial information organized, all your work information organized. So keep that in mind, and then purge and shred, and do that on a regular basis, even if you do it once a year when you do your taxes. And then, of course, making sure you maintain, making sure that when you get a new document that updates and revisions, because we get those new insurance policies, then you get rid of the old physical one, and then maybe transition to a paperless one. So those are my tips from Taylor's Tip Time. Have you been working on getting organized and feel that you need someone to guide you from start to finish? By providing you with details needed to clear the clutter and get organized. Let's talk so I can share how I can help you get back on track and get organized with a virtual session. Go to my contact page and schedule a free 15-minute session. I have also reduced the cost of my virtual sessions, my 30 and 60-minute sessions. So check those out as well. And maybe you are overwhelmed and feeling like you're trying to manage all that's happening at work, in your business, and life. So let me help you. I work with clients so they can get things done without feeling stressed or burned out, and create a life so you can have the time to do all that you want to do without feeling overwhelmed. And click the link in the show page. Well, I want to thank you for following me on social media, for your likes, your retweets, for your sharing. Please continue to follow me, and also check out my Pinterest page. And I have a board specific for repurposing office organizing, paper clutter, and more. And tomorrow is Toss It Tuesday. Are you chanting? So this week, I want you to focus on scheduling time to shred. An hour, 15 minutes, whatever. Or maybe research and find out if there's a shredding event going on in your area. My app suggestion for this week, for those of you who want to go paperless, is Dropbox. I use it all the time. It allows me to share documents with others personally as well as professionally. My product suggestion for you this week is for those of you who do want to keep a physical file, is a rolling filing cart. It looks really cute. It almost looks like a little basket, a wicker basket on wheels. So click the link. It's very decorative. It's durable. So check it out. It's from Amazon, to my Amazon shop. And of course, my repurpose suggestion for you this week is check out my Pinterest page on Repurpose the Office. There may be things throughout your home that you don't necessarily have to get rid of. You can just repurpose them and use them and still, get a dual, be satisfied because you didn't have to get rid of it, but also it'll have a function in your home and in your life. And my book selection for this week is Making Peace with Your Office Life. End the battles, shake the blues, get organized, and be happier at work again. Making Peace with Your Office Life. End the battle, shake the blues, get organized, and be happier at work. And my quote for this week is, getting organized is a sign of self-respect. Remember that. So I want to thank you so much for listening, and be sure to share this podcast with your family, your friends, and on your social media network. Please visit my website at janetmtaylor.com. And until next time, have a clutter-free day. Organization is a quintessential element of a clutter-free life. Join me as we take this journey together. Along the way, we will find the necessary answers to your organizing dilemma. My name is Janet M. Taylor, and you were tuned in to Got Clutter, Get Organized.